All right, welcome. Today we are diving deep into the Triratna. These are the three jewels that are really the beating heart of the entire Buddhist path: the Buddha, the Dhamma, and the Sangha. So let's get right into it. In a world that feels like it's getting louder and more distracting by the second, we all kind of ask ourselves this, don't we? Where do we actually find clarity? A real sense of being grounded with a clear path forward? Well, it turns out an ancient path offers a framework for exactly that. And it's not a set of beliefs you just have to accept blindly, but instead three really practical supports for that journey inward. And that framework is called the Triratna, which literally translates to the three jewels. Now, I want you to pay close attention to how they're described as living principles, not some rigid dogma. And this idea of taking refuge, it's not about hiding from the world. Think of it more like finding a truly reliable support system for your own awakening, one that you're actually encouraged to test out for yourself. So, how do these three jewels actually fit together? Well, the best way to think about it is like a profound journey. First, you've got the Buddha, who acts as your guide. Then you have the Dhamma, which is your map. And finally, the Sangha. Those are your companions on the path. This whole idea of a guide, a map, and companions, that's going to be our roadmap for this entire explainer. So let's start with jewel number one, the Buddha, the guide. Now, it's really important to get this straight. This is not about worshiping a god. It's about recognizing the incredible potential to awaken that actually exists inside every single one of us. There are really two ways to look at the Buddha. On one hand, you have the historical guy, Siddhartha Gautama, a real person, a human being who reached enlightenment all on his own. And that is such a radical idea, right? It means waking up isn't some divine gift. It's a human possibility. But on the other hand, Buddha also just means the principle of awakening itself, that potential for clear-sightedness that's right there in your mind and mine. I love this metaphor. It's just a perfect way to get what the Buddha's role is. He's not trying to drag you out of the dream of our everyday confusion. He's just pointing. He's showing you that another state of being, one that's totally clear and awake, is actually possible. He's like the proof of concept for our own potential. So what does this awakened state even look like in real terms? Well, it's a state of mind that's defined by these qualities: a really sharp awareness that's free from all that mental fog, a deep, genuine compassion that doesn't need anything in return, and a kind of profound wisdom that isn't driven by fear. Okay, so if the Buddha is the guide showing us that awakening is possible, the next question is obvious. How do we get there? And that brings us to our second jewel, the Dhamma. This is our map. This is the truth of how things really are. And this map metaphor is absolutely central to understanding the Dhamma. It shows you the whole terrain, the obstacles, the shortcuts to clarity. But here's the thing about a map. It's pretty useless if you don't actually walk the path yourself, right? The Dhamma is an invitation for you to experience it directly, not to just blindly trust the person who drew the map. So, what's on this map? You'll find core teachings like the Four Noble Truths and the Eightfold Path, which are basically really practical guides for living. The map also points to these fundamental realities like impermanence, the simple fact that everything changes, and something called dukkha, which is that background hum of unsatisfactoriness we all feel. Just remember, these aren't rules, they are observations about reality that you are meant to check out for yourself. Here's another really powerful way to think about it. The Dhamma isn't presented as a belief system you have to defend. It's presented as medicine. The Buddha is like a doctor who diagnoses the human condition and then prescribes a treatment. It's totally up to you, the patient, to take the medicine and see if it actually works. But let's be honest, walking a path like this all by yourself can be incredibly tough. And that is exactly where our third and final jewel comes in, the Sangha. These are your companions, the community that walks this path right alongside you. This metaphor of crossing a mountain just captures the feeling of the Sangha so perfectly. The journey can be really daunting sometimes, and just knowing that other people are on that same journey facing similar challenges, Well, it gives you strength, perspective, and a much-needed dose of humility. You're not alone in this. Now, the idea of what the Sangha is has also changed over time. Traditionally, it meant specifically the community of monks and nuns. But in a modern context, Sangha has really opened up to include all sincere practitioners, everyday people like you and me, who are all trying to support each other in living more mindfully. And the key takeaway here is just so simple but so important. Awakening does not happen in a vacuum. We're social beings. The support, the feedback, the shared wisdom of a community, it isn't just a nice to have, it's considered an essential part of the path. So, how do we bring these three jewels, the guide, the map, and the companions, all together? Well, this isn't just about things outside of you. It's really about an internal reality. You can think of it like one single brilliant jewel with three distinct shimmering sides. And what's really amazing is just how flexible this whole framework is. You can see how different schools of Buddhism look at the Triratna through their own unique lens. For the Theravāda school, it's a very practical refuge for your own personal liberation. For Mahāyāna, it's a huge cosmic principle for liberating everyone. And for Vajrayāna, it's all about these inner energies you work with. The core idea is the same, but how it's applied is just so vast.
But when you strip away all the philosophy, all the tradition, the deepest teaching of all brings it right back home, directly to you. The deepest teaching is this.
Buddha is who you can become. It's your own potential for awareness, for wisdom, for compassion, just waiting to be realized.
Dhamma is what you practice. It's the truth that you investigate and you live in your own life, moment by moment. It's not just some text you read in a book.
And Sangha is what sustains you. It's that whole network of support, your friends, your teachers, your community, that holds you up and keeps you going on the path. So you see, taking refuge in these three jewels, it has nothing to do with hiding from life's challenges. It's about learning how to meet life fully, all of it, the messy parts and the beautiful parts, but to meet it awake. The three jewels offer a guide, a map, and companionship. They show us that a path to real clarity actually exists. So the only question that's left is, how will you take that first step?